Good afternoon, guys. I'm going to try and make a cabochon, a two-color cabochon. Now, these are two little fairies kissing, loving, and I really love this mold, but I've been trying to get the white in here and then the black on top, and it's a mess. So I've been trying to look on YouTube, find if I can find anybody anywhere who shows me how to do two-colored cabochon or cameo, but I couldn't find one. So that means if you can't find it, you have to do it yourself. However, I found a wonderful website by a girl named Christy who does cameos out of hand. So she just makes the cameo, it's all black, and then she uses the clay and embosses it so beautifully. You really have to see that. I will put a link underneath my video in the description area, and you really got to see that. Now, she was using some sort of a pen to dip on her clay on the cameo. So I'm figuring, you know what, that's the kind of pen I would need to get my clay in here and get it on the right spots, because every time I tried to push the white clay in there, most of the time it would stick to my finger and it would just come back up. So that was useless. I needed a pen. Now, as you can see, this really is the first time I'm going to try this. I bought a knife that I already took out, and then I thought, no, what, I need to show you guys that I'm really doing this for the first time. So I got myself a clay knife, I got myself a brush for the varnish later on, got myself gloss varnish, and I couldn't find the exact pen that Christy was using, but then I thought this could work just as well. These are embossing pens, so I would, and they have different points on all the sides. Well, one is big, which would be wonderful to, where did my cameo go? Oh, would be wonderful for the bigger parts that I have to do. But when I go to the little hearts, I don't know if you can see that. When I go to the little hearts, I really need something really thin. So this is like the thinnest one on there, and I thought that would be perfect. I also have a toothpick, just in case I need to pick out a little bit of clay over there. And I got two brand new Fimo Soft. Now, I worked with Fimo before because I used to make beads myself. I think I'm going to pick that up again because that would look wonderful with the Routache. So as you can see, I got two brand new Fimos. All my Fimo is dried out by now because I haven't used it in like 3 years or so. So this is brand new. Everything is brand new, and we're going to try and create this. Now, as you can see, I'm not such a perfectionist when it comes to my clay board. I really hate cleaning it up. But this is, it is clean. It won't come off, at least I don't think it will come off. Well, it might come off, but yeah, this is like 3-year-old clay that's dried up. However, I'm going to use a cutting board to work with this on, and I'm going to put my clay on my clay pad. So what I need next is a little bit of clay, and I don't need much because the layer can be really thin. There's going to be black in the background. I'm going to thin that out like that, and I'm going to cut off little pieces. Here's a little trick when you do a two-color mold that I found out is, if you got a piece of clay, find your deepest point, try and get that in there without it sticking to your finger or anything, a little bit like that in that area. Weten your finger, good, and just smear it in there. Push it in there so it won't stick back to your finger. Now that's gross, I know, but it works. And then with the embossing pens, I can now push that into the areas where I need to go. And I can thin this out a little bit, like that. And anything that goes on there, get it off, because else the clay is going to stick again. And when I need to go in the line, here's where my toothpick comes in handy. And smear off, get off the extra clay, the leftover clay. Weten your finger again, go over it, and smear it in, like that. Now that's the way it works. And we're just going to pick up another piece. And try and work on one side first and then on the other side. And I need about enough for that little wing over here. But the thing is, it's not as deep as the previous one, so I need like a little bit of white clay or cream clay. I'm going to stick that in there. Because it would be nicer if all these moles were nice and deep. I'm going to take my finger, weten that out real good, push that in there, and just kind of pull my finger back. And now all I need to do is push it where I want it, get rid of that what I don't want. And this is not as deep as I said, so if it doesn't succeed at first, try it again. Finger wet, push, slide, and get the extra clay off of there. And now I'm going to wet it again and push it in there more. Find my area of my mold. You have to get it all the way to the side. And a little bit of clay I got here on the side that's not supposed to be there. And I'm just going to try and keep that right there. I know it's gross to do it with your finger. If you don't like it, get a cup or something and put your finger in there. Okay. And now, with a little bit of luck, if I flatten this out good enough, I can get a piece that will go on there, and I can just fill that up and it will stick to the previous piece. So it's a very precise little work. But if I can do this, I'm going to be so happy. I'll pick my finger up again, push that down, like that. Okay, and now we have, why did I get this mold? There must be easier molds. Get just a little bit of tiny clay, take it from my, no way I'm gonna get those hearts filled up. Well, we can try. I want to try and fill those hearts up, but I guess it's gonna be very hard to do. You can just fill them up like this, but then you'll have to find your heart again where it was. So oh, there was a heart here. See, once you hide it, you can't find it back. But I got that one. So I'm pushing that in there. Got the first one, getting the clay off around it. Just don't want this cream clay showing on the black clay later on. Wow, I got one heart done. Amazing. Anyway, I guess that's the way I'm going to do this. If I don't want to use resin. If you're not afraid of resin, then it's a good plan to use that. I'm gonna fill that up. Space that out. And this little area here is where the heads get together. So clay needs to go. I'm gonna just push that down. Wow. Am I actually doing this? Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of this, but I'm gonna speed it up because else it's gonna just be like a gazillion hour video. Because this is obviously taking a lot of time. What do you think, guys? A lot of work. Okay. I tried to kind of get rid of the extra spots, the extra white. And I hope that it's sufficient. I really can't tell what is, when I go on this mold, where the clay is, or if there's any clay left, or if I do this, then that it's just the cabochon mold. But next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black clay and I'm going to make a circle. And make a good circle that doesn't have any seams in there, and I'm going to just flatten that out in sort of a horizontal, or a sort of an oval, so I can put this in there as my first layer. Why am I doing this? Because I don't want any layers to show, so I'm going to just put that in there and just push that down. But I don't want to push down too hard, because I don't want to get the white clay out, and I can't really fill up the gaps either, because it's kind of dangerous. So I'm just pushing that down so to fill up my caps instead of folding that over and using that clay. So I'm just going to do it like this. I'm just going to push it in. Okay. I'm going to use a second layer. To kind of fill up the middle. There, and that should be about the size of my cabochon. And I'm going to wet my fingers and I'm going to just mold these together carefully. Pushing that down and getting the seam out. And I'm not going to push that clay back in there. I'm just going to get that clay that's left over sticking out. I'm going to cut that off as soon as I get my cabochon out. And I hope that everything will turn out right. So let's go see. And I'll push that out. And as you can see, there's it's really pretty. I did very well, but as you can see, there's still little parts of white clay on around it, especially around the heart area. So I think the wisest thing for me to do is not fill up the hearts, just fill up the fairies instead, and I think I will have a pretty cabochon. So I hope you liked it. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah. So next one I'll make will be without the little hearts. The little hearts will just have to go black instead. So thank you for watching. I hope it was useful, because there's no video tutorials with fimo clay out there to make cabochons, and you will probably want to know how long this goes in the oven. Well, that's a good question. Let me look that up for you. Okay, it says online about 120 degrees Celsius. Remember, that's Celsius, not Fahrenheit, so you'll have to convert. And for about 30 minutes. Does the oven get preheated? It doesn't say. So that's about it. And this one is not going to be used. So, have fun trying. Get at least a mold that is a little bit easier, that doesn't have all the little small details around it, and I think you will do a lot better than I did the first time around. Okay, bye-bye guys.